Hey guys, if you remember this car behind me, this is the ZL1, which has suffered a couple interesting things.
That really sucks.
This also includes a second DSS drive shaft failure since the last video. That's a carbon fiber drive shaft too.
But we've continued to make improvements, and today we have the big one. This is the one that I've been telling you guys for so long was coming, and it is finally here! This is the DSX secondary port controller called Atlas.
Atlas
Is the biggest thing that I have been waiting for so long, because not only does it make it so you don't have to mess up torque models, it also is tuned all through HP tuners. Atlas is the be-all, end-all for port control for the Gen 5 engines. That includes the 6th Gen Camaro, the C7 Corvette. This puppy right here works with the factory computer, not in addition to the factory computer, to come up with the perfect spraying of fuel from your port injection, where it does not need a lot of information to be entered into it. It will just know it. It will pull it from the computer and run it as if it is one.
All you have to do is tell it the injectors you're using and it will do the rest.
That's why it says idiot on the back of it. ID 1050.
ID 1050, yes. I should send in a picture, be like, you misspelled idiot, idiot.
Atlas claims to be the most seamless port injection offering for Gen 5 vehicles. They say that it can be summed up in 3 words: it just works. So we are going to put that to the test. With Atlas, you get a full wiring harness as well as the main computer. Optionally, you can get widebands as well. What Atlas doesn't come with is its own fuel system. That's something that you can get from DSX or us, CSPRacing.com. One of the things that we're going to be doing is installing ID 1050 injectors. To do a full DSX test, we're also going to be installing the DSX port plates and rails, and we already had the in-tank fuel system from the last time that we modified the car, so we didn't have to upgrade that again. That one's the deadheaded system that is capable of quite a bit of power.
So now it's time to actually tear apart my car and get the reflex controller off. Not that there was anything wrong with the reflex controller, but we are testing the Atlas. So we're ripping the reflex controller off. We're gonna actually rip the 2 high PSI plates off as well. That way we're using the whole DSX system so we can test this thing properly and with what Dave would sell, what we would offer in a package if we're gonna do an entire DSX system. The Magnuson's off, the reflex harness is gonna come off. We're gonna put it side by side so you guys can see the difference.
Okay, so now that everything's off the car, one of the things that I wanted to tell you guys or show you is that we're gonna still try to utilize the lines that we already made with the different fuel rails. I don't know if that's gonna happen or not, but we're gonna give it a shot. Now what we've taken off the car is the reflex harness, which is actually a pretty simple kit. It is actually really simple, and here's the reflex port plates with, I think these are Bosch injectors, or maybe they're the Siemens Deca injectors. What does that say? It says something. It says...
Made in Germany.
Made in Germany. Okay.
Yeah, we can...
I think they're Siemens Deca 60s or 80s. I'm not sure. But it was enough for whatever I needed to do. Reasonable injector, and they actually have the extended tip, which was one of the reasons why we used them. That way you got a reasonable spray pattern in the port. We're taking this off and going to ID 1050 injectors, which are definitely one of the better injectors, and they will sit in the DSX port plates. So you have to actually swap out the lower injector ring in order to fit into the port plates. Let's see what they look like. The injector tip is actually like right there. That's really nice. It doesn't protrude into the port, but it's enough where it's not like a really long travel inside that port, so it should have really good atomization. One other thing to note is that the 2 high PSI doesn't seem to have alignment dowels, but the DSX does. So now the DSX plates are on. They're in here nice and snug thanks to the dowels. We were able to make a lot of this stuff work. So next step, putting the blower on. We've already connected the Atlas hardware and electronics to it. We're getting really close now. I'm so excited. Now here's the Atlas install.
So this bracket's actually really unique. It actually has an alignment pin like here, but it's the further back one, and it actually slides in place, and this can only get mounted in one spot. So,
That's awesome. And then the Atlas just hangs out right here, nice and tucked
and it's
away.
like a factory ECU connector too, so it's easy to go in.
Nice and sealed.
Woo! Look at it. It's back together. It's got the DSX port plates with ID 1050 injectors on here now. The Atlas controller somewhere over here. And it's nothing else has changed except we have a drive shaft in here again. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but we've had not one, but 2 drive shaft failures thanks to Drive Shaft Shop and their shitty stuff. DSS and their shitty drive shafts.
That's the only thing that failed. Luckily, it didn't take out the floor or anything else. But
Well, I mean, that's the beauty of the carbon fiber drive shaft. But
let's start getting this unstrapped so we can get it in the air to look at it, I guess.
And this is what prompted me to go direct to Atlas testing.
we're hoping the third time's a charm and it doesn't like burn the car to the ground, that we actually get to go down the track this time. So, without further ado, start up. Fire in the hole!
Now, since we had to undo the lines for the port plates and stuff, fuel pressure had to build all the way through to get to the direct injection, but here it is.
No leaks. We got oil pressure, so that's good. I'm sorry. A nice, quiet sound. Listen how quiet that is. And then, with a snap of a finger, and nothing changed. Okay. The reason nothing changed is because I have the stability lights on right now. And sometimes when you have the stability lights on, it locks it in tour mode for the exhaust sound. So I can't actually change it until I clear those codes. What do you think the next step is?
Dyno?
Dyno.
We're going.
But before we dyno the car, we have to dyno me to see if I hit my goal of 315 pounds by January 2025. Well, that's embarrassing. Let's go back to the car.
New year, finally, the Atlas is all installed. I got new tires on it just so we don't have another failure on the dyno. We're thinking that drive shaft shop's so weak that a change of tires, a little vibration there is enough to destroy a drive shaft in a transmission. So I'm not doing that again. So one of the most amazing things with the DSX here is that it is to be tuned as if it's not there. Normally, when it comes to tuning a port injection setup on a car that doesn't have port injection, you're tuning 2 separate computers, this computer and that computer. And you play with these computers. And you play with them in such a way that they, make sense. You get right in between them and you talk to one another. You see what I mean? Well, here,
No, they can't. I'm gonna have to put a black screen over all of that. Be like,
With Atlas, those computers are basically talking as one.
so there's not much finagling with any of the spots to make anything work. It just works. That's the deal. That's the feedback. That's what it was designed for. It just works. It gets the job done. And that's what we're going to test out here. How true is it? That happens because the airbag module is not in. Well, we did fix the seats. We put new seat covers on. The headliner's all done. The airbags are all in. All new airbags. It was just the side airbags that went off, and then the seatbelt tensioner that failed. Not failed, but deployed. I didn't put the airbag module in yet, just in case we have a failure on the dyno. It's one of those things that, like, once it happens, you're just scared. Like, I have been so scared. In fact, I even changed out the rear tires. I put brand new tires on this car because I've been so freaking scared that even the vibration from the tires is pushing the drive shaft over the edge. That was the only thing that changed between the 100 dyno pulls I had on it to when the drive shaft actually failed and took out the transmission. So I'm scared. Wish me luck. I'm gonna fire her up right now. She fires right up. That's the beauty of it. It's all tuned as if it's my normal tune. I don't have any widebands connected because I opted to get the DSX wideband system, you know, on this thing. And so I will be reading that natively through HP tuners, which is really cool. So one of the really cool things that I'm about to show you is that we get some extra special functions now because we have a new module. It is the DSX port module. Like normally we get our ECM, we already are logging the stuff we want on that. TCM, we're logging the stuff there. CCM, but now we got the DSX port fuel. That's really nifty, and we get really cool things like actual Lambda 1 and 2 if you have the extra widebands, which I always recommend. But then you also have, you know, cylinder corrections and, you know, if they're active and stuff like that. So here we're just adding the actual Lambda 1 and 2, and you can see it is populating as if it's just from the factory. Alcohol percentage is 17.6%. We're going to give that a shot and see what happens.
My heart's pounding.
I'm scared. What?
832, which is exactly around where we were when it.
That was not a lot at all. That Lambda was like wonderful. It, I think I'm a little too rich, and then when it maxes out the injection window, then it's dead on. Like the correction factor is doing a wonderful job. That was about 14.5 to 15 pounds of boost.
I'm just saying, that port controller is awesome. All the data is right there in HP Tuners. You don't have to look at another piece of software.
It tells you your port fraction.
And there's a modifier that can richen it up as you add more and more port. Like if you were 100% port, you'd want a different air ratio than if you were 100% DI.
Victory stance, baby! Victory stance!
For those of you wondering, this was filmed back when the Eagles were really, really good, not just good.
Cleaned it up a little bit, and good oil pressure, good cool temperatures, like everything's staying, you know, where it should be. Pretty happy about that, and the run was pretty darn solid. I think we're ready for E85. Gonna add 2 more degrees of timing. Hope for the best.
So 931 rear wheel horsepower through cats is really, really amazing. In terms of the advertisement, it lives up to it. It just works. It was incredible. I tuned it all through HP Tuners, and there are more and more features being added to this, so it's just absolutely bonkers amazing. For those of you following, there's still more to go for me and the car. I still have to hit 315 pounds on bench. And the car, well, I have other goals for the car, and one of them is to get back to the track and do some really amazing things. Don't forget to subscribe because we've got a lot more coming up on the Trio 1 series. Stuff that you might be interested in if you're high powered. Z-pipes, X-pipes, Cord's diff brace, and the quest for 1,000 rear wheel horsepower. You don't want to miss it.